Hey guys, so we have seen a few commands earlier that included the use of char and varchar2 and also varchar. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to differentiate between all of these and also a new character that is NVARCHAR. Now to make you understand of what are all of these and how we use them, let's start from the beginning. Char. Okay, so character is used to store the data of English language, like basically it is used for A to Z. Okay, but it does not only limit from A to Z, it has a range of 255 data objects and can store values from 0 to 255 in ASCII, or limiting to them there are 256 values that can be stored that are of character data type. Now what is interesting between char is that suppose you have defined a char as 10. Okay, in a table you have defined a char as 10, and now you decide that you want to store a value red. So instead of storing it as red, what it will do is it will add 7 spaces, and this 7 spaces will be padded, like it's the extra spaces that are added to the end of red before this whole data is stored on a particular column. So here, even though you need only 3 space, you are extending 7 spaces and wasting a lot of memory. This memory loss is not acceptable when you have 1,000 or some records, 10,000 or so to be saved. For that purpose, varchar was introduced. Now what varchar does is, it's if you want to store a character red and you have defined the varchar space to be of 10, it does not add any spaces. The problem, however, was in case of varchar, it clearly does not differentiate between a null string and a null. It takes every empty string as different and null as different, and it's also reserved, so we generally never use it, because mostly in our cases we would like to have the same meaning, whether it is a null string or a null, we would like it to mean the same. To avoid this confusion, again we were introduced with varchar2, which is basically varchar with the difference that it understands the difference between varchar having a null string and having null, and there is no space added anywhere. In case of varchar or varchar2, no additional spaces are padded. Coming to the last term that we will be discussing now are NVARCHAR. Now NVARCHAR might sound a little confusing, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to refer you through a web page. Yep. So this is how you see you create a table. I'm just going to copy paste the whole thing and we are going to run them in our database. Okay, so now you see these symbols, these are because I haven't got the language supporters and they're trying to use it as ASCII symbol. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you over here. Suppose you would like to create a table, so whenever you define an NVARCHAR, you're supposed to prefix your words with N first of all. If you try to insert or retrieve a value without adding N to data, the data is taken as question that is not understandable, because that by normally it tries to make it as ASCII, and as a result your data is not stored. If you try to insert a data and if you use the N, the data can be stored. Here the language is odd because NVARCHAR is essentially used when you need to store the data in a multilingual format. Multilingual by making it a Unicode. Now the problem is Unicode character uses 2 bytes of data, whereas ASCII, which is like our char, varchar, varchar2, all of them use 1 byte. So basically, again, if you look into it in that way, varchar2 having a size of 4000 or 400 for that matter will be equal to NVARCHAR having a size of 200. And this is important to understand that we use NVARCHAR only when you have to use multilingual data. Otherwise we always go for VARCHAR2 to avoid the extra wastage of space. Okay, so this is how you get the data. Inserting, when you want to read the data, only that data which is when you try to select the data also, there has to be some code for it. And again, when you want to select each and every data with a clause, n has to be specified, otherwise you do not get your data in a multilingual. Okay, so that's it for the difference between char, varchar, varchar2 and nvarchar. Thank you.